January 12th, 2024. New moon yesterday. Oh man, gonna be an incredible year, I think.
Upcoming January 25th. Yeah. What do you see what's coming in the next couple of weeks?
Advancing Aquaculture just came out with a new webinar with Dr. James White talking about plants and soil biology and how plants can actually uptake microbes, fungi, protozoa. Fascinating. And I just released a video in response to that yesterday, tying a bunch of those pieces together for you. How human health meets regenerative agriculture and technology, and how the future is very bright for us with all these pieces coming together. That said, I did a foliar feed last night. Some silica, I did some pure crop because we're still fighting the pest issue here. Again, I'll just mention that that's an OMRI listed pest suppressant. It's supposed to work by enhancing plant health. So same general concept as everything else I use here. A little different product than I usually use, but a little different approach. Seems to be doing its job. Let's see what else is in that feed. What do you think about that? Honestly, the last week has just been an absolute blur. Yeah, so it was Nutrilive Grow and Vitality, 5 milliliters of each of those, 30 milliliters of pure crop, which is 1 ounce, and 4 milliliters of silica. And I just wanted to show, this is the next morning. It's literally been 10 hours at most, and you can see on these beets there's the beginning of a growth response already. And we'll keep an eye on here, and actually I see it on tomatoes here too. I can see new leaf growth accelerating again. But we'll check back in here in 24 to 48 hours, and I think you'll see an improvement in growth that will be very noticeable to you. January 13th, back in the grow lab. Oh, we got tomatoes ripening. Yeah, those are actually getting just about ready now. They're getting a nice red color to them here. I'll give you a little close up. And them shiny maters. Yeah. Well, exciting things going on, let me tell you. Here, let's just take a look around the grow kit here. I'll let you have a look at these tomatoes and how much they've exploded. I gave them a foliar feed last night and a good watering, and they blew up. Black Crim, same thing. Actually, you need to go in and tie these up again, tie those up again, tie these up again. I'm going to prune these back a bit and see if we can't stimulate a new root growth down into our new soil block. I really should have set that soil block deeper into there. I was trying to give more volume, but I should have set that about 4 to 6 inches deeper, and I bet you we wouldn't have a lot of these systemic issues, although it might be in part due to the age of the plant also. What it might do to replace this is take one of these nice healthy, well, more healthy theoretically, because we're putting trace mineral nutrition in here theoretically, without plant sap analysis. Of course I can't confirm that, but anyway, might be able to take some seeds from these and just plant in here and grow a new round of another generation of the Rhizotrap. Or alternatively, I could start some new Rhizotrap seed and plug them in here and prune this out and replace. I don't know, we'll see what we do. Yeah, so I'm just back from the Bionutrient Food Association tonight, and I'm really stoked. I get to be part of the Bionutrient Food Association, and we're going to bring so much awesome information forward. When you see what's coming, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got a brighter day. We got brighter days ahead, a brighter world ahead. Can't wait to tell and show you all about it. Well, here's a long-awaited project. And one, I thought I screwed up on myself for a bit, actually. I thought I'd mistakenly mixed this crate back in with the newest soil mixes, but then I realized that I outsmarting myself, and it actually stuck this crate back around to the side where I wouldn't mix it up. So grateful for that, because these are awesome, and I wasn't sure where I was actually going to plant these when they came up yet, because I didn't have land to put them on yet necessarily, but I had a feeling that a home for them would spring up along with them, and it sure has, with the Bionutrient Food Association. We're going to be building that permaculture regenerative farming system out from, well, it's had some hard times, and we're going to help fix it back up and get it back rolling, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be such a cool farm when it's all completed. It actually is a really cool farm already. It's a really cool farm. It's run by Dan Kittredge. He's the executive director of the Bionutrient Food Association. Anyway, I'm sure I've babbled on about that a lot in all my videos now, but yeah, it's exciting stuff. These are sea buckthorn seeds. I believe we had 23 of them. They've been in stratification for about 2 months, and what I'll do is, probably even before I shoot this video, share the previous planting operation for these. And they're just about to their end of stratification period. They're supposed to technically be done February 4th, but we've had a very, very cold streak recently, and we've had cold streaks and warm spells on and off, and that really is what these are recommended to have, is variation in temperature. So they've sat out on the concrete outside in the sun, so they're getting warm in the sun time and then cold at night. And what I'm going to do here quick before this crate starts to warm up too much is get the FLIR camera out, and we'll compare crate temperatures, the cold crate, to the stuff that's in here. Oh, you didn't think I forgot about the old FLIR camera now, did you? Check this out. I think that soil might be a little chilly. A little chilly side. Let's look at the side of that crate without the lid in the way. Here you go. Can you tell where the cold soil line is there? Boom. Boom. Yeah. Pretty obvious, huh? And then we'll compare with, say, the catnip crate. And I'll lift the lid side on that so you can see on that. Very different picture. I don't know, just I was trying to share another perspective here on this channel, and I can't wait to show you a new perspective. So there you go. These are in. I'm going to leave the lid closed on this for now, and we're just going to let these take their time and kind of warm up slowly here in the grow tent. And I figure by the time February 4th rolls around, 2 weeks from now or so, or almost 3, but whatever, it's close enough, and we should have germination of these. And by the time springtime rolls around, we have a farm to put these on. Now, these are dioecious plants, so they're male and female separate plants. So we're going to have to grow them out, determine their sex, and then let them cross with each other, and then we'll get fertile flowers and I think greater fruit production. I think they will produce without pollen some, but production goes up dramatically when they're pollinated. I could have that detail wrong. This is a new species to me. But these are going to be really exciting. These are super, super high in phytonutrients, vitamin C. These are great for health, healing, cleansing, and they're something you can grow in your backyard, and they'll survive in extremely cold northern climates. So, yeah, jump in. This is just one little tiny piece of all the permaculture stuff we're going to bring you between the Pharmacy Seeds Network, the Bionutrient Food Association, and all these other people who are going to join in on this. So I hope you'll stay tuned, and I hope you'll join our revolution. So, there's a lot going on in the last week, and this last weekend especially, so I forgot to actually put inoculant directly on the seed. So we're going to go back and put a foliar drench down with inoculants and some trace mineral nutrition stuff to support triggering good germination and biology. I mean, we do have some established colonies in the soil, I would think by now, with growing living plants, but we always want to make sure that we have our inoculants in there, so it's never bad to re-inoculate from time to time. I heard John Kempf mention this in one of his talks on advancing eco-agriculture, and it made me go back out that season and put inoculants down a few more times. And I happened to be growing a lot of sweet corn that year, and when I went out right after that talk and did that foliar feed and put that BioCoat Gold inoculant down again, within a week everything went a dark blue-green hue, and I realized that that inoculant had not taken the first time. So I would recommend that you try to keep that biology in and on that soil, and always be conscious that it's possible that it's not active or it hasn't taken or connected to the plant system or the soil system yet. So it's never bad to just tap that system once again. So we'll be doing that here. I know it's kind of a long lecture, but wanted to illustrate a few points around it. And the buckwheat is coming in underneath here, but the amaranth is sort of out competing it in this case. So I may have to go back and do some hand weeding just to give the buckwheat the advantage, because you can see how bad the amaranth has come in. It wasn't this tall 2 days ago. I should mention, you'll notice this whole block, all of it, is a much darker green now. I think it was Tuesday night that I did the foliar feed for this last, and when I did, I added the inoculants that I had forgotten to put in back in the spring, namely BioCoat Gold, Biogenesis, and Spectrum Extra. And I don't think Advancing Eco Agriculture sells Spectrum Extra anymore, so I would recommend Spectrum DS in place of that. But this greening up is basically from inoculants. That's what's really been added to it, and it makes a tremendous difference. And every time I forget and do it, and I come back in a couple of days and I see everything just darken green and do really well, I remember just how important that biology is. I talk about it all the time, and sometimes I forget to implement it, but this is another excellent reminder of where and how and why biology is so important. I guess while we're in here taking a close look at this, you should have a look at those corn roots. Look at the size of those roots compared to the size of my fingers. There's a lot of surface area there, or cross-sectional area of root, able to conduct nutrients, water, exudates, and all those pieces that tie plants and soil together from a physical perspective. Okay, just continuing to illustrate point on watering. That's getting light again. That was watered heavily day before yesterday. Like a watering jug and a half. The watering can that you see me use, it's about 1.25 gallons. It was 1.5 of those to water this thoroughly the other day, and now I got to water it again today. It'd probably take a whole can to soak that again. And look at the growth up top here again. I'm really just trying to illustrate this point about environment and nutrient demand and water demand. Like when you get a plant that's growing really fast, that water that it's going through is a great way to illustrate the point about the amount of nutrients that it's going through as well. Same thing. It's going through a tremendous amount when it gets rolling. Huge difference between a tiny little seedling and a giant plant that's got a full frame and throwing flowers and fruit on as fast as it can. And it is. We got flowers, more flowers setting, more flowers setting, more flowers setting, vine growth vertical, vine growth horizontal. It's blowing up. So, yeah. Just thought I would cover that. And same thing with these black crims. They're exploding into growth. And I'm sure, yep, I would say by tonight, that's going to need another full soaking again too. And that was just soaked 2 days ago as well. So there you go. And I dropped a few large leaf basil seed in here. We're going to try and cover this bare soil with some green growing plants. And they're germinating now, so that's cool. And even down in the little crack there. Oh, let's see, January 16th, 2024. Just came through, did a little bit of pruning, tied up the one there. Things are growing like crazy. Did another good foliar drench last night. Rejuvenate, Sea Shield, Silica, Biocoat Gold, and Spectrum Extra. Rosemary are coming along well in their planters. You can see I've actually been trimming some of that for cooking with. Here's one that hasn't been trimmed. Here's another one that hasn't been trimmed. And that's one of the smaller ones. So this is taking off nice. Holy basil's doing well. Everything else is doing pretty well. Figs are rocking. I shared a fresh fig with my friend John yesterday. He'd never tried a fresh fig before either, and he noticed the same thing I noticed. It doesn't really taste sweet. This one was a little bit underripe, but the fruity floral flavors that come through is incredible. There's like almost every fruit flavor you can imagine runs across your palate, so that's really interesting. And you've got to imagine that's in part due to the regenerative practices here, and I can't wait to see what we get when we really get soil health up. Remember, we're just starting to build a fertility fire. We haven't completed building the fertility fire. We don't have a raging fertility fire yet, but we will. So there's the trimmings from this morning. This clip is mostly just a reminder to you that it's always a good idea to keep things pruned up and cleaned up and make sure that plants have adequate light, space, and airflow around them. So let me just go back here quick. Most of the pruning I did here was down on this underside. You can see where I clipped off some of these older leaves. I want that airflow underneath here to be good. We don't want to allow stagnant air to accumulate under here. And this one actually still needs a little bit more pruning work. You can see that there's a little bit of blockage to light and airflow in here. We want to keep that open. Same in this plant here. A big part of that is just because of this holy basil taking over, and it's like starting to really occupy that space. So what I'm thinking about here as we move forward, as these tomato plants are finally really sizing up, is I may move these out and make it so that I can get light and access to them all the way around each plant. That's going to take a lot of the space up, but I'm okay with that if we're growing really high quality tomatoes, because I love a really good tasting tomato. So yeah, and we'll make the other plants work around it. You know how it is. Well, you know, just in case you think I'm cheating and it's really summertime here in New York, I think it's pretty clear. It's not. Oh, yeah. This is where the fun begins. Gave these a good foliar feed last night. I came in this morning. I showed you a few clips here as I was clipping, but I'm back in here at lunchtime. So we're 3.5, 4 hours later, and we have like explosive another round of growth on, especially these black crim. Now, remember when I talked about critical points of influence of giving a seedling everything it needs from the very start, and that unlocks all the genetic capacity of the organism? Well, this is an example of where we're starting to get into the realm of that. I'm not going to say that we're there yet. I'm just saying that we're doing better at allowing this plant to fully express its genetics. And ideally, honestly, looking at the size of these plants and how fast they're growing, I'd love to have a grow lab to do something like this in, where we had 16-foot ceilings and we could grow monster tomato plants in, say, 200-gallon planters, because I can only imagine what we could produce doing so. To that end, we might actually have that opportunity now, because now we're working with the Bionutrient Food Association, and as things go forward, there should be budget, space, and labs to do all this sort of stuff in. So I hope you'll stay tuned with this, and I hope in the meantime to go over and check out the Bionutrient Food Association and Dan Kittredge and the Bionutrient Food Association's website, YouTube channel, and all their other social media stuff. They're on Facebook, Instagram, you know, all over the shop. Go check them out. Look at what their cause is. It's all about nutrient density and food quality. It's all about food quality and about putting the ability to test that food quality directly into consumers' hands. So you can walk into a grocery store, never touch the food, scan it, and know whether it's nutrient dense or not. I'm talking about a complete revolution of how we look at, handle, and manage food systems and farming systems. So please come join us. What's that? My. Is that sweet potatoes flowering over here in the corner? Basically being ignored and not cared for, but still flowering? What is that? Are there eggs coming on? Oh my lord! It's exploding into life! Imagine if you worked with biology, what could happen? Holy cow! Yeah, imagine that. Life works with life. Well, we have the range. Everything from very happy to, not quite so happy. Yeah. Right there. There you go. So despite the insect issues with the okra, you have okra coming up. So, that's pretty cool. Now I gotta figure out how to use it, because never grown it, never used it. I understand it's good for thickening soups and stews, so maybe we'll start with that. I have had dishes with it, and I have always enjoyed them, so choose over here. Now we got lots of figs coming on all over. Growth all over. Beets are taking off nice. Have to thin those out soon. Stevia is starting to take off better. Realized how actually dry this crate was. Starting to water it a little heavier. Of course, we're back on the flip side of things as we start to water things heavier. I've got a few fungus gnats popping up here and there. I think a big part of that, though, is the soil crates that I have yet to implement. But those soils do seem to be cooking down nicely. I did grab a scoop of one of those for something earlier. While we're in here, we'll look at the rosemary that I started from seed. Yeah, those are all doing good. Olive tree, fig trees, 4 of them propagated from back before. Did a video on it, how to, like we do here on the Pharmacist News Network. Black Krim tomato. Just so happy and healthy. Gotta stake it up again. Gotta prune these bottom leaves again, keep that airflow going good. Debating even possibly moving these tomato plants out somewhere where they get more surrounding light, airspace, etc. We'll see. Not a lot of free time. It's January 17th. Things are cranking. And I just wanted to point out that these sea buckthorn are germinating. Apparently I didn't close one of the holes when I set these. Find my finger in the camera here. Yeah, I didn't close one of these holes when I was seeding these. But that's exciting to see that. So they should be up in the next few days, I would think. At least some of them will. And that's progress. Progress in the right direction. We're going to have some seed buckthorn growing here, males and females both. And now, at the Bionutrient Food Association farm, we have a place to propagate these out to. We have lots of land, we can really go crazy. Let's just have a look at some nice ripe cherry tomatoes here while we're having a chat. So, January 20th, a tremendous amount going on, but suffice to say, I brought home some new plant friends. Finally have an aloe vera again. Hopefully I don't burn myself, but if I do, at least I can fix it. On the sweet corn experiment, we have some germination, or at least emergence, I should say. I'm sure germination was before emergence, is that how it goes, but Yeah. So that's good. Sorry for the crappy camera work. And I need water, but there you go. We're up and running. 75 days. Good Lord. Time just flies. It is Sunday the 21st of January 2024. I'm trying to keep track of time mostly these days, and it just disappears. Things are cranking in here. Things are growing really well and looking good. Got some new additions here. You heard that right? Sanguinelli blood orange. Yep, and we got a little bit of sticky stuff here. We got some biting, chewing insects on these. Valencia orange as well. Both of these were a friend of mine's, and, well, friends of mine, and they have to move, and they don't have a new place for their plants. They had these under LED lights and some supplemental light from the sun in a place they had, a nice room they had. There's no more for this stuff where they're moving at the moment. So, all that said, I'm caring for these temporarily, and I'll be propagating an aloe vera plant. That's from them. And there's something else here from them. Oh, there's a succulent that I'd never seen before that I thought was interesting. So that's that. The catnip project is cranking. I need to harvest and dry some of this and get it off for testing so some kitties can tell us whether that's really good catnip or not. Ginger is still getting too much light. The sea buckthorn are up. I have to get these into a better spot light-wise. They're okay here for now, but they really need to be close. And then I did a really heavy foliar feed Thursday or Friday. Rejuvenate, Sea Shield, some Photomag, I forget all what else. But let's see, everything was super wet, and I went super hard on Rejuvenate, which has a lot of sugar in it. And you can see we got some fungal action here on the soil surface on all of these planters actually. So one of my jobs tonight is to go back through and scratch that up a little bit, and then I got to do some staking on these. These are taking off. These black crim are actually throwing tomatoes on already. And more flowers, and we're going to have real tomatoes on here pretty quick, I would think, at the rate these things are growing. I think we got them dialed in nice, so I'm going to try and keep them there. I got to get some water down on this stuff and all, but we do have some crashing health here, so I probably imbalance things a bit with my foliar feeds. Used to soils that are not quite as well balanced, and I probably tipped the balance out. I will say on the Rejuvenate and the foliar feeds that since we started those foliar feeds, man, this lemon tree is really recovering well. We got a ton of new vertical growth. I just pruned all these off here, oh man, like a week ago or something, and they're already growing back up again. It'll be time for another vertical prune, but that's good to see the lemon tree finally recovering at a good rate now. And this fig tree is growing at explosive rate since the last foliar feed. Probably going to need a lot of water tonight. And then beets and the new beet plant in the crate are rocking. I got to check on them. I'm sure they need water. They actually look a little wilty. So, lots to do in here. Well, that's a little different picture. But now everything can get good light. January 24th, 2024. Guess we'll just give you a scan across a few things here as we move into the black crim tomatoes. Those have literally doubled in size overnight, and probably will again throughout the day. They are growing at a phenomenal rate. The San Marzanos are doing pretty well also. They're cranking along. There are some San Marzano tomatoes starting to come on there, so that's kind of exciting. This other one I still haven't gotten the balance straightened out yet. I have let up on watering a bit. I think I was over watering a bit, so that's probably part of it. But we are getting a ton of beautiful ripe cherry tomatoes. Shared those with some friends and family. Been eating a bunch myself. Enjoying those. Holy basil has been going into all kinds of stuff. Shared that around with some friends as well. Everything else is coming along nice. Figs are growing well. Lemon trees healing and recovering. The beets are doing well. And peppers are growing. We're still battling the insect issue there. Oh wow, look at the flowers. Holy cow, look at the flowers on the okra. I've never seen okra flower before. That is beautiful. I need to get a better shot of that. Oh yeah, we got lots of nice ripe red cherry tomatoes coming on. See a little bit of foliar feed rending on there. Sorry for the horrible camera work. Hard to watch the camera and look at what you're doing at the same time. Yeah, let's go look at that under some nice light. Yeah. Those are nice, huh? Well, well, we still do have an insect issue here, but man, look at those flowers. Those are beautiful. Holy cow. I mean, I grow these just for the flowers out in the garden bed. Pretty cool. Well, that's good news. Not bad for first time around. I've wanted to show these figs that I propagated back in the summer for a while. I keep forgetting. Wow, they're due for water again. They really need to be transplanted. You can see we've developed incredible roots on them. And they grew nice and tall. They're huge, huge propagation cuts. And I really need to get them into some soil. I probably... maybe I can pull some old soil into a crate because I don't want to dedicate new soil because it's too expensive right now. But those are doing well. The catnip project here is doing really well. It's time to cut some of that and dry some and send it off for the kitty cats to test. And our keeping our sweet potato alive is doing well. This Trinidad scorpion pepper is recovering really nice in the new soil with some waterings. You can see good, happy, healthy leaf growth. New pepper flowers coming on. New pepper setting. There we go, over in the second lab. The sweet corn experiment. Silk is dying down. So we'd be filling seed now. We'll see what we get. And the new dwarf blue jade sweet corn planting is up day before yesterday, actually. Day before yesterday evening. But now they're really emerging. They got good light, good moisture, good nutrients, and they're doing well. And they're taking off. So that project is coming along also.